Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm working on a 6x12 single page layout. As you can see, it's all 3x3 pockets. This is a style I do not use a lot, and really I'm just trying to use up page protectors that I've had forever. It came in a variety pack, and I feel like it would be wasteful to just throw it away. So I try to make it work where I can. So here we are. So this is still in Quebec City, and we were just walking towards Parliament, their assembly in Quebec, because we had a tour that afternoon. But we had time to kill, and so we thought we're just going to meander, leisurely take our time. And there was this beautiful fountain nearby. The tulips were blooming. We saw beautiful doors. This is the Lewis Gate, I believe, here on our way. So we saw some fun things. And I thought, all right, well, I want to include them. Just because they're sort of random along the way doesn't mean that they're not worthy of having a page. So I'm going to make one. I will tell you that I maybe have 5 cards that are 3x3. They just don't really come in that size. And they're very, very old. I'm not even going to bother to go looking for them. I'm just going to make my own. Now, if I'm lucky, I can cut down 3x4 cards and make them fit. If not, then I'll make my own, which is totally acceptable. I am thinking maybe some green because I've got different shades of green happening here. I don't want to do too many neutrals because I've got a lot of that happening. So I want some kind of color. I don't need a journal here though, I don't think. So if I could find cards that just had like a saying in the background or a picture or something that fit with this, that would really be ideal. So far, I have found 2 cards. They're both 3x4s, which is great. I have this one, which would totally work to be cut down to a 3x3. I might lose this down here, but I can strategically place it to maybe get a little bit, and that's totally fine. I like it that it's got some yellow, so it brings in the little bit here and that door, so that's great. This one I like, but I feel like I may have to reserve this one for Montreal. I think what I need to do is look ahead at what photos I'm using and decide, like, do I need to save it? Is there something where yellow would really work well? Or can I use it here? If I do use it, I'm going to end up with quite a bit of yellow, which is, fine. But if I do any embellishing in any of the other pockets, I just need to keep that in mind and probably pick a different color. But I think I'm going to go look at the other layouts I have coming for Montreal and see, can I use this or not? Okay, I looked ahead to Montreal and there's nothing that is like super yellow where I would feel like, oh, I used this and I should have saved it. So I think I'm going to use it. So that was actually kind of easy finding those cards, but now I have to cut them down. So I will do that, and then I have to figure out what to do with the rest of this. Cutting down this card will be relatively simple because there's nothing really at top or bottom. So what I'm going to do is just kind of line up here. So if I cut it like this, here's where 3 would be. I don't want that close. 3 would be here. It's pretty close, I think. And it's right at the mark here at 3.5. So I think that's a good option. And then I'll cut this part down, and then we'll have 3x3. There we go. Yes, I think that looks great. All right. Let's move that. Now we can do this one. This one's a little tougher because I have to figure out, like, I'd like part of that showing, I think. So let's do this. Like if I put it even here, 3 inches puts me to here. So I could even go a little bit more. 3 inches would put me to here. That's not bad. I think I'm going to do that. So I cut off just a tiny little bit of the flash or the star at the bottom, which isn't a whole lot. It's fine. And then 3 inches. Oh, that's tight. It's going to take me right to the top of that one, which is fine though. The only problem I might face is I can't remember if these pockets on here are true 3x3. Let's try one and find out, because if they're not, then I'm going to have to cut down a little bit more. Oh, they are good. Okay, now, do I like it better like this? No. This and this, too close together. I need some white as a buffer there. better. I'm wondering if I should even move it down here so it's further away. Then I have to rearrange some of these. You know, I'm going to consider that. Let me think about it and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've ended up rearranging quite a bit here to get these where I want. Isn't it strange how, depending on what cards you use, you may have to shift things around to feel like it looks good? Yeah, I like this being in the opposite corner from each other on a diagonal, which is nice. But then you still get this nice break of white in there. So it's not, I don't feel like the yellow is overwhelming. And then, of course, I had to move this, but it redistributes the green quite nicely, I think. So then the next question is, where else would I put something to embellish? I could do something up here or along the side, either right in the corner up top or along here. I hesitate to do something down here because I've got this card, but really it would have to be either this corner or maybe top here to feel like this was balanced. But I definitely need something on the left side if I'm going to do it, because this is so bold. So I think that would have to be, I mean, I guess maybe I could do something here, but then it's awfully close to this. So I think my preference is up here and then maybe over here. I've grabbed out my bags of embellishments just to see what I can find. So I did my bag that's black, white, and gray because I definitely have that happening. And really, I think this would be my preference. I did grab yellow, but if I found something in here, it would have to be small because there's a lot of yellow happening already. But then I also did grab out green because I do have some bright green happening here and then pops of it elsewhere. I could use that. I don't know that that would be up here though, because it's a lot of green happening already. I mean, I'd really have to carefully use it, and I'm not sure how that would work. So having said all that, really the black, white, gray would be my first pick. So not in the bag, they were just sitting on my desk. I have this. I had a bunch of these words. These were the other ones, and I don't think those are good. But this one just says explore, and I thought about maybe doing it here. The only problem is I wish it was reverse, like the background was white and the font was black. It would show up better. So I'm not convinced that this is the way to go, but I'm going to leave it there just in case. I will still look at the rest of these. So I have a phrase label or phrase strip that I found in here that I'm not sure why I put it in there, because normally it would just go with my gray stuff, my gray strips that I keep, but it was in there and it says walking around town, and that's perfect. If I use it though, it blends in too much up here. I would have to use it here, which is okay. And obviously it's way too long. I would cut off the end and just use it there. But I do have that as an option. I do like that it kind of brings in that other color. So you know what? I'm just going to do it. Let's just attach that. Well, let me cut it down first and then I'll attach it. I have adhered it there, so now I'm just going to cut off the extra that I don't need. And I know why those are so long. It's because I made them myself in Project Life, because you can fit like 6 or 7 phrases on one of the 3x4 card collages per side. So you could get like up to, 12 phrases, 12, 14 phrases. That's a lot. And then I can make it any color background I want, any color font I want, any style. Well, I mean, any style given what's loaded into the app. So it certainly has its advantages. So there we go. We have that done now. It looks great. Very happy with that. Now I just have to figure out, am I going to use this up here, or am I going to find something else in my pile of stuff? Okay, so I went in and I looked at all of my black and white and gray ephemera pieces. Not happy. I mean, there are still some left in here, but I was about halfway through looking those and I'm like, you know what? I forgot that I have these epoxy things. If they're not right in front of me, I tend to not think about them. I've had these pennants that I made like for years, and I'm down to just this pile, and I'm trying to use them wherever I possibly can. And I actually found 2 that might work. Now you can see some of these have yellowed over time, the epoxy part. It's supposed to be clear. Some fared better than others, but for me this might actually be okay because I have yellow happening. So I'm thinking maybe this one, which brings in some of the black, but it's very busy against those trees. Then I have this one that's just a grid pattern, but it shows up much, much better. And I think originally this paper was maybe an off-white, and look how yellow it's gotten. And some of these maybe I should just throw away, but I have a hard time doing it because like they're cute. I love the look of them. And I spent a lot of time making them, so I don't want to just like throw them out. It feels wasteful. So when I look at this, let's just see here. Move this so that it's back up in the spot where it would actually live. Like, what do I think of it? Let me back out my camera here. Give us a little bit more room. How does that look with the other ones? You know, it's not bad. I certainly like it better than this. This is too dark. Like, that's just, it would make the page feel too heavy. You know what I just realized? That pattern kind of mimics the grid in this building. Yep, I'm using that one. So the best way I have found to attach these is to use glue dots. I have the flat perforated kind in my stash. So I'm just going to put one right there. Press on it to make sure it's nice and adhered there. There we go. And then I can take this guy and put this right up here in the corner. Yeah. And then that can go in the pocket. I will put that in there, and then I will assess. I'll put all the things in the pockets, and then I'll assess, like, is it done? Do I maybe want to stamp something underneath here? That's the only thing that's like catching my eye, that I feel like because I've got such bold text down here that maybe I need something there. Once I have these all in the pockets, I do think that I need something here. Just right underneath the camera lens, I want to stamp something. I don't know exactly what that is, but I have plenty of travel stamps, so I will find something. I chose to use my stamp that says Salut. I have this set. It's actually for France, but since that's, to my recollection, a general greeting like hi or bye, you can just say it. It's very casual, informal. So I thought, well, that's perfect. We're just strolling around the city saying hello, hi, to what we see. So here is another one done for Canada. Thanks for watching.